Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Sarah Smith is our guest today. Sarah is the marketing specialist for Visit San Marcos. Sarah, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today.
Fantastic. Now, for our listeners, where is San Marcos?
San Marcos is smack dab in the middle between Austin and San Antonio. So we're kind of there where the hill country begins, moving up. So a pretty cool melting pot culturally between those two big and very, distinguishable cities.
It's funny. I've been to Austin, I think twice. I've been to San Antonio twice. And I was thinking as I was looking at the map, because I was doing my homework, just got to make sure remind me where San Marcos is, because you and I chatted a couple weeks ago to talk about this episode. And I was thinking to myself, this would be a cool town to live in because as you just said, you're smack dab in the middle. You get to, if you want the vibe of Austin or you want the laid back, cool foods and vibes of San Antonio, you're in the perfect spot.
We really are. It couldn't be better. We get a lot of like the live music and um what I hear a lot is people saying that San Marcos is almost reminiscent of Austin of the 70s, where
Oh,
it's a lot of like the very fresh, very youthful, super laid back. But we've also got a lot of the really good food coming from San Antonio. And yeah, it really either direction you go, you're gonna find great vibes. So we're pretty cool to be a mixture of both.
okay. Now, I do have a nice aerial shot of San Marcos behind me. Actually, I'm like blocking a baseball stadium here, but and I'm noticing it as I was kind of creating this background for us is you mentioned hill country. I'm thinking I can see the horizon for hundreds of miles right now. So
Yeah.
is there like you actually see the hills, or do we just have nice trees and flat land?
Actually it's kind of interesting. I-35 runs almost directly over the Balcones fault line. So, we have an attraction here at Wonder World, or it's called Wonder World here, that I always recommend people go to. They've got really cool tower where you can see where the fault line begins, like the coastal plains, and realizing that that used to be beachfront property,
Okay,
and then you can see where the hill country begins, and you see a
okay,
lot more of the hilly, like stereotypical Texas hill country views.
okay. Very nice. So tell us a little bit about San Marcos, and again, the fact that it's situated between these two wonderful cities. I mean, you've got your unique flavor. As I was looking at the website too, and as I was doing other searching. I mean, people don't realize that before this episode, there's a little bit of research that goes in. So, and I saw San Marcos CVB, Convention and Visitor Bureau. So, not all towns, they might have a visit, the name of the town. They don't all have the CVB aspect of it. So, give us a little flavor, if you would, of San Marcos as a community, and then the Visit San Marcos flavor, and then the CVB uh, flavor of it, if you would.
Absolutely. So for us, the CDB and Visit San Marcos are one and the same. So we're
Okay.
the same department. The CDB was a little bit more of our like polished, longer name, but also something that's more recognizable for event planners,
Okay.
conference planners, those kinds of folks. Whereas Visit San Marcos is a little bit more attainable for your everyday visitor.
Okay.
So we are a one stop shop for both sides. Since we are so close in between those two large Texas cities, we find ourselves pretty popular when it comes to meeting planners or people that kind of want to meet in the middle or meet somewhere that's also got some really great like leisure activities to do while they're here for a business meeting or a conference or
Mhm.
something. So it's a multifaceted organization, and I'm excited that I get to work with a little piece of each of those.
Okay. Now, one more question about the CVB aspect of it, the events and working with meeting planners. what type of events would you in any given year kind of hold for and really attract folks coming into the town and staying and spending some money?
We have a broad range. Sorry, cough. We have quite a bit of a range of different events that come that we see. Some of the larger ones are going to be the sporting events and the summer camps. We do have Texas State University in the middle of town. So, like you mentioned with the baseball fields as your backdrop, we see a lot of tournaments and cheer camps and stuff like that that come through. The parents will come, hang out, watch their kids play, of course, and
Hmm.
then go to the outlets and shop or go float the river or, there's all these different components that they can do while they're here for that activity. And the same thing goes with trade shows, conferences, weddings. Um, we've got unique venues. We've also got your traditional conference venues. So there is a place for a whole lot of fun to be happening.
Okay. Now you mentioned the river. I'm always attracted to the river, and I've done actually 2 episodes earlier this week, and each one had the river. And I'm thinking, I wonder if they're floating inner tubes down the river and just kind of spend a leisurely afternoon. But tell us about the river that's going through San Marcos, and what are the experiences that any visitor or resident of the community are going to enjoy either in or on the banks of the river.
Absolutely. It's hard to miss the river when you come to San Marcos. It does flow directly through the middle of town. So whenever you head to downtown or out shopping, there's so many different ways that you can cross over the river and it's stunning. It's honestly one of the things that brought me to San Marcos personally. It's crystal clear through the middle of town at 72 degrees year round because it's spring fed
Mm,
from the Edwards Aquifer. Something that I think that's a unique aspect of our river is that it does bubble forth from the headwaters at Spring Lake, which is a incredibly protected natural zone. Texas State University owns it now. It used to be a major amusement park for the state, but they still take the glass bottom boat tours out over the lake so you can see where the water is coming up through the aquifer and you can
mhm.
see so many turtles and fish. And sometimes, if you're lucky, a scuba diver that's doing some research down there, they have some training that goes on. So it's really cool. It's gone back to nature. So it feels like you're somewhere almost tropical, but you're, right in the middle of town. So it's really unique. From there, the river then goes through town where during the summer, it's very popular for tubing. My personal favorite times to go are during the shoulder seasons when it's, less popular, but it's a great kayaking spot year round. I like to just go, early in the morning and take a dip before starting my day. It is
Mhm.
a little chilly, but it's great because, like I said, it stays at 72 degrees year round. Um, and yeah, we see a lot of kayaking. We've got glow kayak tours that happen at night with the
Oh, wow.
LED lights. Yeah, so it's a unique opportunity for people to take advantage of some of that water recreation.
Okay, now that it really interests me, but then I think back to last year getting pushed off a kayak into a body of water in Tennessee, and I literally tipped right over. Now I think the kayak should have been about 3 times as wide for me because 'cause I'm a big guy, but that sounds like fun. I mean, just to go out into the kayak and just have the glow lights. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, you mentioned the wildlife, and as I was again reading some of the show notes that you prepared for me, and I was doing the research, I'm very big into the wildlife, especially birds, flowers, as well. And so I would imagine just kind of wherever you are in the river, you get to see the wildlife in the natural habitat. You mentioned turtles, but what else would I see out on the river or on either from the banks or from in a kayak on the water?
Our waterfowl are very prominent, and we were actually just named a Bird City, Texas for our birding and, the habitat here. So
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff that you can see even though you're in the middle of town. I almost always see turtles, fish, tons and tons of birds, a few college kids, if you know what I mean.
I I think I
But
do.
a different kind of animal. But yeah, it's a very robust atmosphere down there. I've only seen one snake. So,
Okay. That's one too many in my book, but, okay, I'll go
yeah.
for that. So, as we kind of get out of the lake, get out of the lake, get out of the river, where else are there outside experience type opportunities for the visitor or for the residents in the community to kind of get out and enjoy nature?
Well, I know I mentioned, the Meadow Center with the glass bottom boat tours, and
Mhm.
I kind of mentioned Wonder World with their tower where you can see the 2, different topographies. But Wonder World's also got a unique nature feature where you can go into an earthquake-formed cave.
No.
Um, yeah, that's their big attraction there, and it's one of those things that's really cool to go down into it. You can learn all about, the Balcones Fault Line Cave there and even see parts of, like, the Edwards Aquifer, so you kind of get a true over, under, through, environment if you do all 3 activities. So that one's always really cool and unexpected, I think, for a lot of people. When it comes to, like, traditional nature activities, of course, we've got a bunch of trails, and one of the things that I particularly enjoy about San Marcos's outdoor scene is that you don't have to go very far. I've gone to a lot of places where in order to go to the popular hiking trail, you're in the car for quite a while and kind of
Mhm.
heading out, taking turns. This is, 5 minutes from city center. You're finding, some of our best hiking trails, and I think that's awesome.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I was in El Paso last year, and they have the state park going right through the city, and I think that's pretty cool. It's like you're just a car drive away, and you've just described that as well. It's like it's 5 minutes away, which I think that's fantastic. Tell us a little bit more about San Marcos and its kind of identity, its cultural and its historical identity.
Yes, so San Marcos is, I think, cool place really just kind of sums it up. We're a cool place. We're a laid back place. Our people are very friendly. Sometimes the shops are, they're open when they're open, but they're
Okay.
always happy to serve you. Like we're very laid back. Um, we're also very unique and colorful. You'll notice a lot of our art scene is very thriving, and you'll
Mhm.
notice that through all of the murals that we have on the sides of buildings. Some of my favorite are the mini murals that are, like, kinda hidden, and then you'll be like, "Are those little goat climbing on that crack in the wall by this business?" And I love that little unexpected pop of whimsy that we
Mhm.
have. We're also the mermaid capital of Texas, so we
Okay.
which seems odd for a city in the middle of the state,
You think?
but
Okay.
that, where the Meadow Center is in Spring Lake, they used to have aquamades that were performed underwater, and so they've kind of been transformed into a mascot for this community.
Okay.
So you'll notice mermaids in a lot of our art motifs and on some of, like, cocktail menus around town and stuff like that. And we have the Mermaid March, which is a collection of mermaid statues where each one's been decorated by different artists. So there's a really, like I say, whimsy. It's in everything we have. We've got a very prominent live music community. So you'll find live music in our coffee shops and on the downtown square and in, like, some of the more traditional and historical venues. We have Cheatham Street Warehouse, which is where George Strait and a lot of other notable names got their start. So
Okay.
there's some classic Texas, in our roots as well.
Okay.
Um, and of course, we've got some really great museums as well to add to that cultural feel. Lyndon Baines Johnson came to Texas State to be a student back before it was Texas State. It was the Teachers College then. So we have a museum that's dedicated to his time in San Marcos.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so a little bit of everything.
Okay. Very good. Now, as far as visitors coming into the community, now I realize folks are going to either be coming in from San Antonio or to Austin, but where else are you attracting visitors from so they can spend a couple days, a week, a long weekend in San Marcos? Where are they coming from?
Well, I think one of the biggest drivers of visitors to San Marcos is the San Marcos Outlet.
Okay.
We have 2 outlets that are next to each other. So they were the largest in the country. I think now they're the 2nd largest in the country, but it is massive, and you could spend days shopping there, and we find people from a global pool. We see a lot of people coming in from Asia and Europe. a lot of Mexico drivers that come in. They come in, take advantage of all these awesome deals at the outlets. It's so tempting to go all the time.
Mhm.
And then once they get there, they'll come eat downtown or, explore the natural abundance we have here. So that's one of, I think, the biggest drivers, at least on an international stage. When it comes to more of our drive market from Louisiana and Oklahoma, that's one of those where we're seeing them going to some of the larger cities and then kind of wanting to get away from it a little bit.
Mhm.
More of a small town charming feel. Oh, I saw that San Marcos has this really cool event. Let's go to that for the weekend. So
Okay.
we get quite a few from that as well.
Okay. And just curious, the drive time from, San Antonio and Austin, what is that, an hour, 2 hours? I know everything's bigger in Texas, so but how long of a drive is it?
It's about an
Okay.
hour in either direction, sometimes a little faster, just depending on traffic.
Alright. Now, is if I was gonna be driving from, you mentioned Louisiana, you mentioned Oklahoma, is that gonna be a little bit longer, or is it 2 or 3-hour drive? What do you think?
That's it's pretty long. I
Okay.
think it used to take me 7 hours to get from San Marcos to Ruston, Louisiana.
Okay. So you kinda
So,
have to wanna do it. So but once you're
yeah, it's more
here,
for people.
okay.
Yeah, they're coming to see the Alamo, they wanna go to the Capitol or, just experience the 2 cities. They might make a stop in between, or we do see quite a few people that kind of claim us as a home base while they're going around to some of the hill country stops.
Okay, very cool. What are some of the I'm curious, some of the hill country stops if folks are they're based out of San Marcos for the stay, but then they wanna do some other exploring, where are they gonna go?
Ooh, I always recommend Wimberley is great. It's a small town. They are our neighbor up, hill country ways. We actually share a few businesses that are like on our property lines there. But it's a really, really quaint little shopping community with some good restaurants, and they're situated also on a river. So pretty classic hill country time out there. And that's only like a 15, 20, maybe 30-minute drive,
Oh,
depending on where
that's
you're going.
nice. That's
Yeah,
nice.
and so you're driving on a beautiful road too. The views are incredible.
Oh,
Johnson City is another really great small hill country town that I recommend. They've got some great restaurants. They've also got um, where President Johnson, had his residence out there, hence the name.
hence the name Johnson
So
City. Oh,
hence the
okay.
name Johnson City. So they have quite a claim to him as well. Dripping Springs is incredible. They've got a bunch of distilleries and breweries, and they're also just a very laid back time. I love going out there. And then, of course, Fredericksburg has quite a draw of their own. But if you're going for Texas wineries, some really good German food, that's also a great stop. And then, of course,
Very
New
good.
Braunfels is another neighbor that has a lot of stuff going for them as well.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. I've always literally, Sarah, joke, because I grew up in the Midwest, and I've been in Las Vegas now for almost the last 5 years, and I'm joking on these episodes, I'm always looking for my next place to live, so I have to say you are making a very compelling argument because people think about Austin, they think about San Antonio, its growth, its expansion. This sounds pretty nice, just, you got it's just big enough, there's lots of opportunity, but it's also that small town feel, so I don't know, this just now is going up to the top of the list too, and you've got probably year-round fantastic weather, I would imagine, except for an occasional exception here and there.
Well, yeah, for me, it's a little hot in the summer, but you really can't beat the winter. So,
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't think I could go back to the winter as much as I might want to. My blood thinned out pretty quickly when I moved to Las Vegas. So listen, I would love if you would indulge us with a little tour of the website, and just kind of let's just take us on some of the high level features of it, if that's okay.
absolutely happy to.
All right. So the miracle of technology, we should be seeing your website. All right.
Yay, that's us.
That's you. All right. Okay. So take us on a tour, please.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to, of course, start at the tippy top of the website. So
Okay.
you'll notice that we have microsites for downtown, Listen San Marcos, arts, and meetings. And that's really kind of the four separate pillars that help, make up of Visit San Marcos.
Mm,
Our department also has the Main Street team, which promotes all things downtown. We have the arts underneath us, of course, promoting the arts. And then Listen San Marcos is our music friendly branch promoting all those cool live music venues. So if
okay.
any of those interests are of particular, interest, then that's where you would go to find all things in that area.
Okay.
Um, where we're at, once we scroll down here and you see that river component designed into the website, those are our latest blog posts there.
Okay.
So you'll find more seasonal content, more niche upcoming events, stuff like that, where if you're looking to explore San Marcos via storytelling,
Yeah.
this is really where I would direct people.
All right.
Um,
Oh, I gotta come and see the mermaids. Okay. I may be a little older, but I still appreciate the mermaids. Okay.
oh, yeah,
I
the mermaids
digress.
are incredible, and their
Okay.
big event is in May. So it's coming up,
Okay.
um, where they'll have the parade and the fair and everything. So the mermaids take over San Marcos for the Mermaid Capital Texas Fest.
All right. All right. Okay. There's the kayak, and I love the body of water, but I would probably have to go out for a lesson to remind myself how to do a kayak. You got to celebrate Mardi Gras as well. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. The parade's this Saturday, so we're getting excited.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Got some nice murals there and little Black history. That's a beautiful building. Okay. Where else should we go?
Whenever you want to get more into like the nitty gritty of planning a trip or just like finding some inspiration on what you can expect when you're here,
Mhm.
I always recommend checking out our events calendar.
Okay.
It's got, yeah, it's right there on the second
Okay.
level. You can narrow it down by interests on the left-hand side. You can also narrow it
Okay.
down by dates.
Okay.
So it's easy to get a snapshot of whichever week or weekend you're planning on visiting and seeing what's
Okay.
going on.
Okay. I'm very big into events and festivals. So Mardi Gras this tomorrow, Independence Day fireworks. Lots of fireworks here going on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Very cool. And I guess if we go to March, let's see what else we got here going. I love these. Okay, so nothing yet to
Oh, you
match
have
our
to
need.
select an end date there.
Oh, I do. Okay. Well,
Yeah. And you can pick a window of time so that way, and then
okay.
you click on whichever. There you go.
Okay. All
So
right.
there's no annual events happening then.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've got some arts and culture, Laughing Dead, Ace Peppers, Blues Jam. I love blues. Cigar Vault. Okay. A lot of nice events. So you definitely for the visitor or for the resident, there's a lot of opportunity to keep you busy.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
always something going on. And that events page doesn't necessarily include all of the live music shows, just kind of like
Okay.
depending on size of show. Those would be on that Listen San Marcos website where they have listed out every single show that you'd be able to catch throughout the week.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Excellent, and I did
Um,
notice, you actually have we draw our listeners' attention when they visit the website to check out the visitor's guide. Do you provide it both in a paper base, so you'd send as well as online, or is it just one or the other?
we can do either. So there
Okay,
is an easy download there where you can have the full PDF to it, where you could either print it out at home or have it on your computer or phone. But we also do mailers for
okay,
a printed version.
okay, and oh, I love that the mailer is, moving. You also have a newsletter. That's kinda cool.
Yes, we do. We have a monthly newsletter. Of course, I would
Okay,
love everybody to sign up for that.
there you go,
Um,
folks.
it's a good snapshot of what to expect for the month coming up. So
Okay,
we'll have a few events to highlight, a few of the blog posts that have the latest stories coming out about it, just some general inspiration for the upcoming month.
okay, okay, here's there's the tubing. So I would definitely be into this, and you get to hold an adult beverage in your hand and just enjoy the tubing adventure. That's cool.
Yes, we do. We did put in a new ordinance this past year, just like on
Ah,
the topic of adult beverages, where um, reusable beverages need to be, or containers need to be used
okay.
while enjoying any kind of liquids on the river this
Okay.
summer.
Oh,
So, yeah, decant, that way you're not holding on to a whole lot of garbage anyways. So,
well, you definitely don't want that not in this beautiful, pristine, river and experience. I love that. So, a topic near and dear to my heart, and you kind of alluded to a little bit, is the restaurant scene. And I'm also a very big coffee drinker. I like a good cup of coffee in the morning and as the sun comes up and the birds are chirping. So where would you suggest right off the top of mind says, Sarah, we want a nice place for breakfast. Where are the options that you're gonna send me to?
oh, it's so hard to choose and narrow it down. But I think well, one of the things that I always recommend is heading downtown. I know you just
Okay.
clicked on it because the pool is there, but downtown is pretty compact and it's pretty
Okay.
walkable. So that
Okay.
way you can kind of stumble upon quite a few restaurants that would have whatever vibe you're going for. If it is just a coffee shop, there's a few to choose from. It's just got a really cool atmosphere about it. A few of my favorite brunch spots in particular,
Mhm.
for a nice, hearty breakfast. Root Cellar Cafe does a phenomenal breakfast.
Okay.
Um, Blue Dahlia Bistro, they have
Okay.
one of my favorite breakfasts, and they also have a nice little courtyard in the back that's like
Okay.
overgrown and shaded, and it's a good time. And then
Oh,
Palmer's on
nice.
the weekend has a really good breakfast as well.
Very nice. Very nice. And how about a good cup of coffee? You've got donuts. See, I gotta watch myself because I love donuts, but it's the downside of getting older. You can't eat all this stuff, anymore, but where are
Yeah.
you gonna where if I wanted, let's say, a nice cup of coffee, I love fresh roasted coffee. Where would you send me?
The coffee bar is a big draw. It's a classic San Marcos stop. Joe's Cafe, I like if you've got some time, I say go to
Okay.
Joe's Cafe, get a breakfast quesadilla, and just soak up the vibe because it is like where the locals are going for breakfast. So you'll find a lot of the local, conversations going on there, and I think that's always fun to hang out with.
Okay. Very
And
cool.
then also the sweet spot. They have see Tantra. See, they're so hard to choose. Tantra is really good too. But the
Yeah.
sweet spot has some unique offerings where they do like hot cocoa flights or coffee that tastes kind of like a campfire with some spices and stuff to it.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's if you're
Alright.
feeling adventurous.
I gotcha, I gotcha. It looks like you had a, Tantra, that's kind of a neat, venue. You've got a roaster here, that's good. I always love a good dark roast coffee, and I'm partial to chocolate with coconut donuts, so, that looks exciting, so, very nice. Now how about for a nice dinner? If the family, the friends are in town, you wanna take them someplace nice, what are some of the options that you would suggest we go to?
Mm. Well, if you're looking for barbecue, any of our barbecue joints are unbeatable.
Okay, so
Um,
can I get the barbecue from this list here?
you should be able to, but maybe
Mediterranean, that's good. Okay, sushi, steakhouses,
do
seafood.
we not have a barbecue? Oh, well, I'll
Sarah,
fix that as soon as
what's
this conversation's over.
Sarah, come on. All right, let's
I
do
know.
burgers and American. It's gotta be barbecue here.
Um,
Oh, they're at
we
Rail
do,
Yard Bar and Grill. Okay.
we,
I'm
I
sure
would
there's
also
more.
recommend, I think the romantic section
Oh,
there has some really good dinner options underneath
okay,
it,
we'll go there. Okay,
which would
so
also be under standard fare, but I think the romantic one's just kinda nice.
where's romantic here?
It's underneath
Oh, there
pizza and Italian
got it.
right there.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't want
Yeah,
that. Oh,
so
okay, good. Blue Dahlia, Italian Garden, Palmer's Restaurant, Courtyard, North Street, Root Cellar Cafe. Ooh, those all looks very good here.
yes, and another one that's not in the downtown area that I recommend is, Cody's.
Okay.
It's actually across the highway from the outlet, so it's where, a lot of people might end up on their day anyways, but they have some really great cocktails, some good steaks. It's hard to beat. North Street is the one that I always like to point out also
Okay. Okay.
because it's Indian Mexican fusion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I can't go without getting their curry queso. It's
Ooh,
mind blowing to me.
that sounds good. Is it gonna be under Mexican here?
It was underneath the last one, so it should still pull because it's we're adding,
Okay.
but yeah, it's right
Well,
there with the orange table.
oh, North Street. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, those all look good too. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I definitely think I could eat well, and there's a lot of venues to go exercise and get up off my desk, away from the desk, and go get some exercise here and kayak, assuming I stay on top of the kayak. I don't wanna go swimming down the river, but I can definitely, bike and walk and things like that. Well, very cool. Well, this is great. Thank you so much for taking us on a tour. Anything else you wanna share with us before we head back to just you and I on the screen?
Two things I want to point out just
Okay.
while we're still here is for things to do, that's going to have all of our attractions in the categories. So you can really drill down into whatever's of interest of you to learn more. And that's going to be more of your dotted I's and crossed T's on like, okay, where's the location? Can I look at their website? What's their phone number? Stuff like
Okay.
that. If are businesses in particular that you want to go to, maybe you're looking for boutiques or art galleries, stuff like that.
Okay.
For
Very
places to
good.
stay, it's pretty
Okay.
self-explanatory,
Yeah.
but you're going to want to crash somewhere after you've eaten all the good food and
Oh, yeah.
explored everything. So that's a good place to check out what hotels you can stay at or um, where the Airbnb is, stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Well, very good. And so, yeah, very nice site. I love the murals, and that's very cool. That is very cool. Okay. Well, I'm gonna head back to our interview. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and I need to. There we go. And so this is wonderful. Thank you, so much for taking us on a tour. I love doing that. Yeah, as we do these interviews with our destinations, it's kind of fun to have our guests kind of take us on a little tour. It's kind of like kicking the tires, so to speak, and gets people excited. So great job on that. So I am curious. It sounds like you're just having a fantastic time as the marketing specialist with Visit San Marcos and little touching on the CVB. As you kind of look back in this career that you have made for yourself, and travel's fun. By the way, I think you all have the greatest job in the world because every destination and representative that I've interviewed, they light up when they talk about their job, and I have no doubt you're gonna do that as well. But what's been your aha moment in having this career and helping people in navigate the city, what it has to offer, but also attracting people that, "Hey, you need to visit us if you're gonna go to San Antonio or to Austin. You need to pay a visit to us." So, what's been that aha moment for you?
I think a lot of it is looking at our data and talking to our local businesses and hearing from them firsthand on how
Mhm.
important our local economy needs tourism. There is a delicate balance there with making our locals happy, but also, you know, all of our restaurants and stuff can't be really self-sustaining without the help from some outside visitors.
Right.
And I think that those outside visitors are also necessary for us locals to really appreciate the place where we live. I can tell you how much I love it because I get to see every day how wonderful this place truly is from, somebody else's eyes.
Right.
It's a unique place and getting to share that with people, whether it's their first time or if they come back, regularly, it just really warms your heart to know that you get to call this place home.
Very good. And do you find also too the locals are appreciative and they really I mean, they are your brand ambassadors, literally. So, what's the vibe you get from them?
They're definitely proud of home, and they take a lot of pride in our environment, so we have a lot of people that are championing our natural attractions and, "Hey, make sure that you're going to local," and, "Oh, have you heard about how cool, downtown is?"
Mhm.
And I think it's really easy to say that San Marcos is so cool when we have so many cool people that are also touting it. So I'm very, very appreciative to our locals for being so prideful of the place that they call home.
Okay, very good. One question that I wanted to ask before we go into our next feature is, I mean, you've got a cool job, marketing specialist, but you have a lot of other peers who are helping to make this happen. How many are there of you kind of out there and as the basically the cheerleaders for San Marcos? How many are out there in your organization?
In our organization, there's 11 or 12 of us currently.
Hmm,
We're having a few changes, but
okay.
we're in an ever evolving, group, and all of us are incredibly passionate about what we do. And I think doing what we do, it's a lot of fun that we kind of get to try on each other's hats. And
Hmm.
so, if you're in servicing and you're helping, with these conferences and making sure that everything's as smooth as possible for them, you also get to do marketing and do the fun stuff. And, there's a lot of crossover where we get to help each other, and every day is different. Every day is fun. It's a great environment. We're also all friends, so we get to go and explore San Marcos, as colleagues and as friends together.
I love that. I love that. Now, before we head out, what insight do you have, again, from your career, just helping people navigate everything that San Marcos has to offer? What's been your insight that you'd like to share with our listeners? And we call that an insight to go, a little tidbit of insightful dialogue. What is that from you?
I think it's something that we hear a lot in the industry, or at least on our ends of things, but seeing how that translates into your everyday citizen or your neighbor is
Hmm.
really unique. For us, it all starts with a visit. And
Hmm.
whether that's a local business coming into your community because they came on vacation, they saw how cool it was and they thought, I want to do business here too. Or, an attraction opening up, store opening, all those kinds of things rely on people having been here or seeing from an outside perspective. And I think that that's really cool. For me personally, I'm an East Texas girl who I heard from my mom how cool it was when she came on a trip when she was a child
Hmm.
and did that glass bottom boat tour. And
Oh,
it stuck with her. Yeah, her and her family went back when it was the amusement park. And she remembered this, 40 something years later, like, oh, yeah, San Marcos is really cool. They've got a university there. I think you should check it out. And that's what brought me to San Marcos. I went to Texas State and I thought, wow, this is home. This is where I
okay.
needed to be. And so my journey to San Marcos started with a visit decades before I was even born. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I love it, and I love that story, and thank you for gifting us with that. Now, before we do head out, again, if our listeners would like to learn more about San Marcos, Texas, where are the best places to go?
Well, of course, we toured visitsanmarcos.com. That's going to be the hub for everything that you could possibly need. But we're also very social. We're on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. We're on really all the socials, but the ones that I would say if you're looking for the most inspiration would be Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, very good. Well, Sarah, it has been a pleasure to have you on the podcast. You have really excited me about paying a visit to San Marcos, Texas, because you're kind of fitting some of the criteria that I have for my proverbial next place to live, and you've done a great job kind of describing it and what makes it special, whether it's for the residents and the community or visitors who are passing through or coming for an event. And I want to thank you for spending time with us today.
Of course, thank you. This was so much fun.
Good. Well, we are very glad to hear that as well. Now, listen, stay on the line. We're going to do a quick close and then you and I can have a final chat. Okay.
Cool.
All right, folks, we've just been chatting with Sarah Smith, the marketing specialist for Visit San Marcos. And I have to tell you, just do a quick Google search on the map. So you may have been to San Antonio, you may have been to Austin or want to go, but smack dab in the middle is this little oasis, and not so little, but there's a lot going on here. And if you're looking for an adventure, whether it's a long weekend getaway or just planning an event, make sure you spend some time in San Marcos. And Sarah has helped introduce us to this community by sharing their stories. Also, we've taken a tour of the website, so make sure you go out to visit sammarcus.com, sign up for their newsletter, request a copy of their visitor guide, and start planning your trip. And of course, you can also follow them on the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I don't think I've used Pinterest in a long time, but there's that. And also YouTube. This episode will actually be up on YouTube, and you'll see the video of Sarah navigating the website. So again, make sure you go out to their website and socials to get to know them. As for us, you can find us on the Outdoor Adventure Series website. We are also on I have a Facebook page and LinkedIn page, Outdoor Adventure Series. I do have, again, the YouTube page, which you can check out. We'll have those links, of course, all in the show notes. And also, you can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcast from. And I'm here to tell you, if you follow us, say, on Apple Podcast or Spotify, you can listen to this episode and all the other travel destination episodes that we've done. I mean, I think this week, we're probably going to have close to 20 episodes, and we've just published episode 15, 16 this week. So you can literally travel to your destinations, get excited, and listen to some great podcast episodes like we just did today with Sarah. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, and we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.